Um, yeah, I'm here on behalf of the defendant, Jamil Lockhart, and you're making a special appearance.
All right. Well, you got to make your special appearance to the Wayne County Jail. I told you that the last time.
Looks like someone forgot to turn themselves in. Welcome back to today's video. We're heading back to Judge Perkins' courtroom to revisit a case we've covered before involving Jamil Lockhart. Previously, the judge ordered him to serve 30 days in jail for contempt of court. Instead of reporting as ordered, he failed to show up, leading to an active bench warrant. Now that the warrant is causing problems in his daily life, he's ready to address the situation. The issue is that Judge Perkins isn't backing down. Before anything else can move forward, the judge wants those 30 days served. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah, so I filed a notice of removal for all of these cases because I don't believe that this court is capable of acting in an unbiased way. But I mean, there's been no response from the city, but to this point. I mean, just the last court date we had, perjury was committed. I mean, you guys put on the record that I failed to appear.
When the court called your name, you did not respond in the way the court expected. Instead, it was explained that you were appearing as Jamil of the family Lockhart and not as the defendant named in the case. The court wasn't focused on those labels or titles. What mattered was whether you complied with the court's instructions and properly addressed the proceedings. And that's where the real issue began. The problem wasn't the terminology being used. It was the actions that followed and the failure to meet the court's requirements. That's what ultimately led to the consequences you're facing now.
And I spoke to you.
You did fail to show up to the Wayne County Jail. You were ordered to do 30 days in the Wayne County Jail. You haven't showed up. You still haven't showed up. So you still disobeying. Let's not do this. This is how it started the last time. You're still disobeying the court's order, and you have to do 30 days. You have to present yourself to the Wayne County Jail. You have a warrant out for your arrest. And before we go over this other stuff, you got to go. You have to go to the Wayne County Jail. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So
I said what
I can increase the time if you can take to not be compliant.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting the proceedings. May I have a breakout room with this litigant, please, and thank you.
I don't know if he wants to speak to a lawyer, but he can if he needs to. He has that right to do so. You want to speak to the lawyer, Mr. Lockhart, or no?
Yeah, sure.
Wow. This is one of those situations where all the guidance in the world doesn't seem to make a difference. The opportunity was there, the instructions were clear, and the consequences were explained more than once. Yet somehow, the message still didn't get through. I guess that reminds me of an old saying. You can give someone every chance to make the right decision, but you can't make them take it. In this case, that lesson seems especially fitting.
Miss Harris, what's going to go with Mr. Lockhart? So I don't know why he's still sitting here.
Well, Your Honor, if the court will allow, we would like to attempt resolution of the matters that are on the docket. So I would ask if the court could stay the contempt proceedings and allow him to handle these matters.
No. It's been well over a year. No, he's going to have to go turn himself in, and we'll deal with it that way.
Your Honor, if the court could, just in the interest of justice and judicial economy, if he could resolve these matters, if he's still going to have to do the 30 days in Wayne County Jail, if at time of sentencing, it could all be wrapped up together just to not further delay his constitutional right to speedy trial.
He's delayed his rights. He's delayed his rights to a speedy trial.
And I do have a resolution, Your Honor.
No, I don't want to. I'm not even going to entertain it. That ship has sailed. We tried to give him that opportunity a long time ago. He kept being contemptuous in the court. He comes with these far out legal theories that he has that I quite frankly, don't know where he's coming from on that. No, I'm not gonna even entertain that with it.
And Your Honor, I completely understand the court's position. I completely understand if he still has to do the 30 days Wayne County Jail, but I think that he was potentially misguided, did not understand the finer points of the law, court rules, and courtroom behavior and procedure. So now that he has the assistance of counsel, which I'm not saying that he didn't have the assistance of counsel before, if the court would allow him.
We offered him counsel then. He denied the counsel. Go back and look at the video. It's got over 270-some thousand views on it. That 30 days will give him an opportunity to read up on the law and so he can make it and understand how this process goes. So go ahead to the Wayne County Jail. You can take some. They probably have some legal books there, and we'll hear these matters when you come out, sir.
Your Honor, is any of this on the record or no? Or did we not? Okay.
No, it's not on the record because I didn't call the cases. I'm going to continue on. That appears to be Charles Gardner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your Honor, am I allowed to go back in the breakout room to explain that to Mr. Lockhart? Because he seems to have had a change of heart if the court would allow him to at least.
Maybe he can go turn himself in and you can file an appeal. File something to get him heard before the court, and they can zoom in from the Wayne County Jail and we'll resolve it that way. But until he turns himself in, he's got a warrant out for his arrest. He's had this warrant out for I don't know how long. I can look back into the record, but and he's never presented himself. So he was contemptuous then. He continues to not follow or obey the court's orders. So he has to go do the time, or hire himself a lawyer to get it back in front of the court. But until we get the first matter resolved that we had, we're not going to get into the other matters.
The contempt proceedings arise out of his appearance in court. So he's still not allowed to just resolve these before he commits himself to the Wayne County Jail?
No.
I have to agree with the judge's approach on this one. From the beginning, his attitude toward the court created unnecessary complications and made it harder to resolve what should have been a straightforward matter. The court had already given clear instructions, and those instructions were not followed. Because of that, it's understandable why the judge is insisting that the outstanding consequences be addressed first. Had the issue been handled properly from the start, this case could have been resolved a long time ago. Instead, delays and repeated noncompliance turned a relatively simple matter into a much longer process.
Okay, Mr. Lockhart, join the breakout room.
And that'll conclude it. I still see Mr. Lockhart here. I don't know what else to do. What else you can do for him, Mrs. Harris?
So, Your Honor,
he continues to disobey the court order. Just continues to do so.
okay. And Your Honor, I dare not say. I don't know. I don't think that it's an intentional. Well, I can't say that.
Wait a minute.
I don't think. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. I think he has good intentions. I think he now has a better understanding of everything that has taken place.
I don't think so, because he came in here talking about he's appearing on behalf of the person Jameer Lockhart. So I think he's on the same path as he was that got him into this situation.
And that's what I like to call the path of zero progress. Every time it seems like some forward movement is finally happening, another decision gets made that creates even more setbacks. Instead of solving the problem, the situation becomes more complicated than it needs to be. The result is a cycle where one step forward is quickly followed by several steps backward. At that point, progress becomes much harder to achieve, and the case keeps dragging on far longer than necessary.
And Your Honor, we've had that discussion at length in the breakout room. He understands what it would take to resolve his matters. He understands how he has to represent himself in court. And so I think he's in a position that he wants to resolve these matters. We've had the discussion. We asked for leniency and mercy from the court. I understand if the condition is that he still has to do 30 days in the Wayne County Jail, although we would ask if the court would reconsider that sentence now that he has taken the time to actually listen to advice of counsel and be made fully aware of how he should present himself in court. I know that it's his intention to resolve these matters without any further court appearances or draining any further resources or delaying the process anymore. And I know that the court doesn't want to delay the process any further. I understand his behavior is what put us in this position as of right now, but we're just hoping to resolve today if the court will allow.
I'm not moved. I gave him ample, this is a 27 plus, maybe 30 plus minute video. I gave him ample opportunity. You know, and I'm not moved.
I mean, Your Honor, I mean, in that video, I did apologize to you for, I guess.
You apologize after you got the 30 days.
Yeah, the apologies seem to arrive only after the consequences became very real. It's easy to express regret when facing a penalty, but genuine accountability is usually shown through actions, not just words. If there had been true remorse from the beginning, responsibility would have been taken much sooner. Instead of waiting until the situation became unavoidable, the better approach would have been to comply with the court's order and address the matter directly. That would have demonstrated a real commitment to making things right and moving forward.
I'm not
I apologize after the offense was, I mean, I don't know when else I would apologize.
You and you still haven't showed up, and it's been over a year, and now you want me to have some sympathy for you and to resolve the matters. I have no sympathy for you at all.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to discuss. We tried to give you a fair opportunity to be heard. You keep spewing these legal theories that I've never heard of before, and I'm giving you an opportunity at that date to speak with the lawyer. You refuse that. You refuse all the opportunities I've given you. And you came in here another time a couple of months ago, and I told you we weren't going to hear it then. You got to go report to the Wayne County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had ample opportunity.
You'd have me go to jail.
No, on behalf of Jamil Lockhart, I do understand that, and I know the court may hear this often, but he does have a family that he supports. It would be a great hardship on his family, his resources, and his sense of economy in terms of his job if he would have to submit himself to 30 days in the Wayne County Jail.
Well, that's something that should have been considered before making decisions that led to this situation. The court had already made its expectations clear, and ignoring those responsibilities only made the problem more difficult to resolve. Choices have consequences, especially when court orders are involved. While personal matters can certainly be important, the court is likely to focus on whether reasonable efforts were made to comply with its instructions. From a judge's perspective, the missed obligations appear to have carried more weight than the explanations offered afterward.
I understand that the court is not inclined to change that.
I didn't just I didn't just give him the 30 days on the, he should have thought about that when I was asking him. I let him speak when I was asking him to not try to overtalk the court. Let me give him an opportunity to speak. He continued to disobey that. He should have thought about that then. There's a whole lot of people up in the penitentiary that have families that they take care of, and he's not going to the penitentiary. It's just county jail. So I'm just not moved.
Would this court consider amending it in such a way that he could only do weekends to complete his 30 days?
He hasn't even come to done anything. I'm not inclined to do anything for Mr. Jameer Lockhart or the person of Jameer Lockhart or whatever he wants to be called or however he wants to be described himself. Jameel Lockhart.
So yeah, he has the matters that are set on the docket for today. He has presented himself to the court today.
Okay, you want to take? We'll take off the warrant. We'll give him a pretrial date, and then he can go do his 30 days. And he can tell the sheriff in there that what his next court date is, and they can, or somebody can writ him out then. City of Detroit versus Jameel Amir Lockhart, case numbers SP 1247989, counts 1, 2, and 3. State of Michigan. Now the laws just don't apply to him. State of Michigan versus Jameel Amir Lockhart, case number SX 378-29611. Appearance for the record, please.
Sherika Harris, on behalf of Jameel Lockhart, sir, could you state the name of the person that you are representing on the record, please, or that you identify, please?
So my name is Jameel Lockhart.
Why does it seem like some people become so uncomfortable whenever they're asked to state their name in court? It's always surprising to watch someone struggle with such a basic question, especially when it should be one of the easiest parts of the entire hearing. Instead of answering directly, they often turn a simple exchange into a lengthy discussion. The more they try to avoid a straightforward response, the more awkward the situation becomes. In the end, it usually creates more confusion than it solves.
Yeah, there is currently a recommendation if the court would allow a plea.
No. He's going to have to go do the time.
So, sir, as we discussed, I think you would be better suited if you, 1, hire an attorney, 2, go to the Wayne County Jail and submit yourself so that your matters could be resolved. I understand that when you appear in court, there's different attorneys.
He didn't want an attorney. And I guess you have gotten through to him a little bit. He changed it. He came in here appearing on behalf of the person, Jameer Lockhart. And then when he asked him to state his name, he came and he indicated that he was Jameer Lockhart now. So I don't know what he like I say.
I mean, if I could speak a little bit here. I don't know, Your Honor, I'm not a criminal. I just want to handle this, get this over with.
I didn't say you were a criminal, sir. I didn't listen.
No, I know you didn't.
I didn't say you were a criminal. As it stands now, these are allegations. So until there's an adjudication of either guilt or not guilt, that'll determine, whether you're a criminal or not. So I don't know. You got these allegations out here. So I didn't make that comment. You were a criminal.
Right. No, I'm not saying that you did. But I just want to handle this and, put this to rest. At this point, I feel like it's taken up too much of my time, too much of, your time, I'm sure.
What did you expect? This is part of the judge's job. and the court is simply doing what it's required to do under the law. If there's an apology to be made, it might be worth considering the time and resources that have been spent on a matter that could have been resolved much more quickly. Every unnecessary delay adds to the burden on the court system and everyone involved at some point. The focus has to shift from excuses to accountability. The sooner that happens, the sooner the case can move toward a proper resolution.
And,
No, this is what I do every day, sir. I serve the city residents of the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan and whoever comes in here. So it doesn't take up my time. This is what we do.
Yeah. So yeah, and continuing, I would just like to, get this over with, pay whatever fines need to be paid. I would like to have my license back. I can't rent a car when I travel. I would like to be able to do that. So.
Oh, that's interesting. It seems that now that the real-world consequences have started affecting daily life, the importance of having a driver's license suddenly looks a lot different. For a long time, certain rules and requirements may have been dismissed, but when those decisions begin creating practical problems, perspectives can change rather quickly. What once seemed unnecessary now appears to be much more important. It's a reminder that avoiding a problem doesn't make it disappear. Eventually, reality has a way of bringing everyone back to the same set of rules and responsibilities.
Whatever I owe for these civil offenses.
Last year, over a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, I just want to resolve this. Whatever I owe for those offenses, I'm willing to pay, and it'll be done with this situation. I truthfully don't think it's your, mission to put people in jail that have not harmed anybody or committed any offense against, any actual live human being. I'm only guilty of speaking out of turn. And, I should have handled this differently. I can see that now, but yeah, I really just want to get this whole situation rectified, and whatever the charges are that I need to pay, I'm willing to do that, and I'll put this to rest.
Yeah, that's not really how this works. You don't get to look back on the situation and pretend it was no big deal after everything that happened. The court's concerns were based on behavior or decisions made during the proceedings, and those actions carry consequences. Once the judge made a ruling, it wasn't something that could simply be brushed aside or forgotten. Accountability is part of the process, and in this case, the court made it clear that those consequences would need to be addressed. As it turned out, that meant a 30-day sentence for contempt before anything else could move forward.
Let him speak. Next pretrial date is September 22nd.
Yeah,
Well,
based on the statements.
With that being said, I don't think, based on everything that has happened, our history, the claim in federal court that I have against you.
Oh, so you're pursuing a claim against the very judge overseeing your case, and at the same time you're wondering why the court isn't being especially flexible with you. Whether those claims have merit or not, it's easy to see how that approach might complicate the situation. Courts generally expect parties to focus on the issues before them and follow the established process. At the end of the day, the judge's concern is whether court orders were followed and whether the case can move forward properly. Actions that create additional conflict rarely make that process any easier.
Michigan judicial tenure complaints that I have against you, I think you have a duty to recuse yourself from any of my cases.
I haven't been privy to any judicial tenure complaint. My first duty is the duty to sit, I feel that I
put it in your mailbox.
Okay, well, all right. Well, the Judicial Tenure Commission will have to come, and I'll have to respond to them accordingly if they present something to me.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day, sir. Next court date, 9/22. You're still expected to turn yourself into the Wayne County Jail.
Well, Your Honor, I would ask one final argument. I understand that he may have indicated he did not want an attorney to represent him. Jail time is a very harsh penalty. And I know that the court didn't just immediately come to that decision. I would ask if the court would consider some of the things that were stated on the record in terms of he now has a better understanding. He is remorseful of how things played out. And I would ask if the court would issue a monetary fine for the contempt rather than jail. If the court would, please.
And he's got a proceeding in federal court against him. So where is it, you know, where is this, I'm
simply trying to protect.
Again, Your Honor, Your Honor, Mr. Lockhart, on behalf of Mr. Lockhart, stop. What I'm saying, the court has to understand the fact that a lot of these things came into play before today. So if in fact there was something filed, it was before today, before having a better understanding of how the process works, how to conduct oneself in court, and that one is held to the same standards as an attorney. I would ask if the court would consider converting that jail term into a monetary fine.
Not at this point.
Your Honor, I only have a federal claim against you as a means to try to keep myself out of jail.
That's quite a statement, especially considering that everything is being recorded. When your own words end up working against your argument, it can create serious problems. Courts pay close attention to what's said on the record. Sometimes, the most damaging evidence comes from the person making the claim.
Right? It's not something that I want to do, you know?
You can take any action. You can take any action under the law that you choose to, sir. I haven't prevented you or even tried to even attempt to prevent you, and I can't prevent you from doing that.
I don't want to do that. I just want to handle this, pay whatever I need to pay, and move on.
You know? Again, advocating on behalf of
needs to be sitting in jail. I'm an upstanding individual. I have a lot of people that depend on me, and I haven't harmed anyone, and I never would.
Understood. Thank you for that allocation. But on behalf of defense would now move to ask if the court would allow a hearing on the contempt proceedings.
That hearing has sailed. He has been gone. He has 30 days for the hearing. Procedurally, that has sailed a long time ago.
So he already had a hearing on it?
No, we asked him, offered a hearing on that. We offered him an attorney on that before we entered into found him in contempt. We offered him to speak with the lawyer on that day. He chose not to. It's been over, I would say, quite frankly, a year at least. The motion he was going to file a motion by 5/27/2022. It's been a long time. Those ships have sailed.
But Your Honor, arguably he didn't have the assistance of counsel. So I would ask, did we go through all of the steps for him to waive his right to counsel in that type of proceeding?
Well, you can go back and look at the transcript. If he wants some representation now, he can either be a court appointed a lawyer, or he can hire a lawyer on his own. But at this juncture, I'm not inclined. You know, I get people tell me I'm too lenient, and I'm a defense judge, and I try to be fair to everybody that comes through here. I gave Mr. Lockhart, and I'm giving Mr. Lockhart now over a half hour when other people only get 5 minutes to speak. I gave him ample time today and back when he came in court the last time. And you say that he's changed, but he came into court today spewing the same stuff that he started out before he talked to you that he did when he was there. I read those motions that he filed, which was in the court's eyes had no basis in law whatsoever. None. I've never seen those legal theories that he's purporting. I don't know if you, well, let me strike that. I've seen those legal theories that he's purported, but I've never seen those in the rules of court rules. I've never seen that in any of the law books that I've ever read. So I told him this back then, that he needs to go get the rules. I gave him an opportunity to read the rules of procedure. He refused everything. Now, is the transcript of it, you can order the transcript, he can hire his own lawyer, and he'll get whatever kind of hearing that he will get. I'm not going to recuse myself from the case.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay?
I have nothing further.
Very well. Next court date, September 22nd, 2023, will be a pretrial. Have a very good day, sir. And again, you're ordered to turn yourself into the Wayne County Jail.
All right, that's the end of today's video. Now I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think happens next? Will Jamil finally address the outstanding issues and take care of what the court has ordered? Will he appear at the next hearing and try to move the case forward? Or will he continue down the same path that has already created so many complications? Whatever happens, this case has certainly provided plenty of unexpected twists. Be sure to share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If not, feel free to leave a dislike. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.